He looked like a living superhero. Massive muscles, unstoppable strength, and the presence of a god inside the wrestling ring. To millions of fans in the 1980s, Hercules Hernandez was the definition of power. But behind the chiseled body and confident smile was a man fighting invisible battles. Pain, addiction, and a body slowly breaking down. Tonight, we uncover the shocking and tragic story of a wrestling icon whose life ended far too soon. Was Hercules' death simply the result of years of abuse to his body? Or was it another dark example of how the wrestling industry destroys its own? As we dive into his rise, his struggles, and his mysterious final days, one question haunts us. How did a man who looked invincible die at just 47? Born Ray Fernandez on May 19, 1956 in Tampa, Florida, Hercules Hernandez grew up far from the bright lights of professional wrestling superstardom. As a young man, Ray was drawn to bodybuilding and strength training, sculpting his body into something extraordinary. His dedication to physical perfection soon caught the attention of promoters, and it became clear that he possessed the look wrestling companies craved, larger than life, intimidating, and unforgettable. When he entered the wrestling world, Ray Fernandez transformed into Hercules Hernandez, a character inspired by mythological strength and dominance. From the very beginning, his body was his greatest weapon, but it would also become the source of his downfall. Hercules rose to prominence during the golden era of the WWF in the 1980s, standing shoulder to shoulder with legends like Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Ultimate Warrior. His massive physique and raw power made him a believable threat to any opponent. Fans remember him for his intense feuds, powerful slams, and his role as one of wrestling's most visually imposing figures. Behind the scenes, however, the pressure to maintain his superhuman appearance was relentless. During this era, performance-enhancing drugs were widespread, rarely discussed, and dangerously normalized. To stay competitive, Hercules, like many others, pushed his body beyond its natural limits. The muscular body that made Hercules famous came at a brutal cost. Years of steroid use, combined with painkillers and grueling travel schedules, slowly destroyed his internal health. Wrestlers of that era were expected to work through injuries, often masking severe pain just to make it to the next match. Hercules reportedly suffered from chronic joint pain, mobility issues, and mounting physical exhaustion. But the most dangerous damage was invisible, his heart, liver, and organs under constant strain. In an industry that rewarded size over safety, there was little room to slow down, and no support system to help performers stop before it was too late. As wrestling evolved in the 1990s, Hercules found himself pushed further down the card and eventually out of major promotions. The loss of fame, routine, and identity hit hard. For many wrestlers, retirement isn't peaceful, it's terrifying. Hercules reportedly struggled emotionally, dealing with the reality that the body he sacrificed everything for was now failing him. Depression, frustration, and isolation crept in as bookings disappeared. Like many forgotten stars, he was left to deal with long-term damage without the medical or psychological support he desperately needed. In the years leading up to his death, Hercules' health visibly declined. Friends and fans noticed weight loss, fatigue, and signs that something was deeply wrong. He reportedly suffered from serious heart problems, a condition tragically common among wrestlers from the steroid-heavy era. Despite clear warning signs, medical intervention came too late. Years of abuse, both voluntary and systemic, had already done irreversible damage. On March 6, 2004, Hercules Hernandez was found dead in his home at the age of 47. The official cause of death was listed as heart disease, but many questions lingered. How does a man who once represented peak physical strength die so young? Was it genetics, or the cumulative effect of years of steroid abuse, painkillers, and untreated health conditions? While no foul play was ever reported, fans and fellow wrestlers couldn't shake the feeling that this was another death that could have been prevented. Hercules Hernandez's death forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. When an industry glorifies unnatural size, ignores health risks, and discards its performers once they are no longer profitable, deaths like his stop feeling accidental. While officially labeled natural causes, the circumstances surrounding Hercules' death tell a much darker story, one of exploitation, silence, and long-term damage hidden behind entertainment. Hercules Hernandez may not have held multiple world championships, but his impact on wrestling history is undeniable. He symbolized an era where larger-than-life bodies ruled the industry, often at the cost of real human lives. Today, his story stands as a warning, a reminder of what happens when performers are treated as characters instead of people. Thanks to tragedies like Hercules, conversations about wrestler health, steroid abuse, and heart disease are finally happening. Hercules Hernandez looked invincible, but no one truly is. His life and death reveal the hidden cost of wrestling's golden era, a cost paid in years, health, and ultimately, life itself. Remember him not just as a powerhouse, but as a man who gave everything to entertain the world.